As a scout leader, you're probably familiar with campfires. They're a great way to bond with fellow scouts and leaders and volunteers, share stories, and sing campfire songs. But have you ever heard of Scout Zone? No? Well, that's what we're talking about today. So what's the point of Scout Zone? You've probably been camping with the scouts, and at some point Skip or maybe the DC or someone says, right, it's time for Scout Zone. Everyone dons their scout shirt and their necker, maybe not their trousers, and they head around the campfire and sit, and then we talk. But what is the point? Do you know? Well, it's a ceremony. It's a time for reflection, observation, and inspiration. Scout leaders do Scout Zone in many different ways. I've seen it where scouts hold candles and they look at the candle flame and start reflecting and start thinking about why they're a scout. Other times we just talk around the campfire. The main purpose of Scout Zone is getting scouts to think why they are a scout. That scout law, that scout promise they took when they were invested, and how they use the scout promise and the scout law in every day. How to be that perfect person, not just a scout, but when they're doing their everyday tasks, going to school, hanging out with their friends and family, and just being around and just trying to use those scout promises and law in everyday life. And that should also count as us, as scout leaders. One thing I want to make clear is Scout Zone is not a religious ceremony. It's a spiritual ceremony. It's about thinking, going a bit deeper inside. It's just about thinking how we can be the best person, about taking time and just thinking. Because in our whole hustle and bustle of life, we've got work, school, campfire, the campsite is really busy, whether, you're putting the tents up and you're just having a really busy program. You're maybe going off and doing activities and whatever you're doing. And it's a real, can be a right, bit of a fuss, and it's exciting. But it's also nice to come to that campfire and just take, 10, 15 minutes out of our busy time at camp and just reflect on us as a human being. I think Scout Zone for me is about, getting all together, sitting around that campfire and just talking and just explaining that it's okay to not be okay. Maybe it's just reflecting on our troubles at school. Maybe there's some problems with our homework or something. And it's just us as a leader just trying to talk to us one big scout troop. Maybe you're doing it as a district campfire, and we're doing Scout Zone just to reflect on who we are as a human being. But remember, it's not a religious ceremony at all. It's not looking for God. It's just looking for ourselves for inspiration, looking for others, looking for a community, that patrol, that troop to look out for us and work together as a team. So next time, when you're gathered around a campfire with your fellow scouts and scout leaders, take a moment to pause, reflect, and appreciate the special tradition of Scout Zone. Because at the end of the day, Scout Zone is about fostering that feeling of a community, reflection, and personal growth. That's my feeling of what Scout Zone is all about. Again, as I said right before, it varies from leader to leader. We do it in all different ways. Maybe we don't do it at every camp. Maybe it's just that big camp when we're all together. Just take some time out of your busy day. It's not a half an hour. It's not an hour. It's just 10, 15 minutes of sitting around that campfire, looking at that flames. Because those flames, as they flickering around, you can just zone into a flame. We've all done it as scout leaders and start staring at that flame and we've gone off wherever we've gone. And that's what Scout Zone is all about. Trying to think a bit inside and deeper on how we can become a better person and a better scout. Scout leaders, that's how I explain Scout Zone to my own scouts. How do you do it to yours? Maybe I've got the wrong purpose of it, or maybe I've overthought it or not thought it enough. Comment below on how you think Scout Zone should be run and the purpose of Scout Zone. I'll see you here next time on Big Man Awards. Take care, guys. Don't forget, watch this playlist here. It's more about what's the point of the stuff we do in Scouts. Like, what's the point of this necker and this woggle? See you next time. Bye-bye.